Hey guys, it's Kimmy from the Thrifting Sisters, and I am coming on today to discuss USPS shipping. There's been a lot of changes in the last, couple years. Honestly, there has been more than normal in my opinion. But I wanted to touch on the fact that USPS has announced yet another price rate increase. And depending on how you feel, you might be like, duh, like that always happens. Or you might be like, oh crap, there goes another quarter off of my prices, right? The thing is honestly, in the last few years, it has been more often than not. In fact, I found several articles while researching all of the information in regards to these changes that, even just regular news stations, ABC, was talking about how USPS has implemented a lot of price increases in the last few years. A lot of them referenced back to about 2020, 2021, it's 2023. So in the last 2 to 3 years. So of course for, just the average person, stamps are probably primarily the thing that has gone up, which that is going to happen again. But for you and I, if you are also a reseller in any capacity, then we're talking about packages, right? And one of the things I honestly have not even talked about on my page yet, and I should have, is, how Ground Advantage is going. So for us that have been shipping for a long time, Ground Advantage in a way used to be first class and or parcel. First class is what I've known for years and years and years. That was the shipping service through USPS that could go up to 16 ounces when shipping, via eBay, pirate ship, whatever. That's what I've used for a long time. And I am old enough, y'all, to remember when I used to ship my clothes. I'm primarily a soft goods reseller, and I could ship them for under $2 or for sure under $3, $2.40, $2.50, $2.60. And I used to know those numbers like this. I've been reselling online for over 10 years, if I haven't already said that. And now, most of my packages are in the $4 range. So essentially about double. I know. You're like, what are you going to do? Nothing. I can't do anything. But my opinion on what my job here on this YouTube channel, what I'm trying to do at least, is to kind of discuss these things that resellers and things that we have to deal with, and kind of update you guys on information, things that are changing, what we can do, what we can't do, so yeah, I know we can't do anything about it, but it's good to know. It's good for us to be informed, especially when a customer asks questions. Why is shipping so expensive? Now, my 15-ounce packages can go into the $6, and that was like unheard of 4, 5, 6 years ago. None of my first class packages went that high. But now they do. I think it's like $6.30 is what my 15-ounce or 16-ounce packages will be when they're going to a zone that's far away. Now, if you don't know about zones, I've done a video on that, and maybe I'll do a refresher sometime in the near future. But let's get back to the topic at hand. We're talking about shipping, and we're talking about the latest increase. I believe there was 2 different increases last year alone, and there's already been one that was implemented in January, and now here in 2023 on the back end, we're going to get somewhat of a holiday increase, and also the stamp's going to go up in January. So, what's the good news here? The good news is they are saying that Ground Advantage, which is the new first class up to parcel, will see some decreases. So let me tell you, Ground Advantage is decreasing, so getting less of a cost, up to 16% in zones 1 to 5, which is your closer zones, depending on the size and weight of your package. Now, I have not been able to find anywhere that states exactly what that means. Like, where are you saving it? Are you saving it on the lighter side of the packages? Are you saving it on the heavier end, right? Usually in like the lower underneath a pound packages, up into 8 ounces is a certain, you know, on the lower end. And then obviously 9 ounces through up into your 16 ounces is a little bit more expensive. So when they say Ground Advantage is decreasing up to 16%, we don't know. We don't know what that means for us. It's great though, right? We have to think positively, because I had never, very rarely do I talk about shipping price decreases. So hey, we are going to get some kind of decrease in the Ground Advantage, but it does not state exactly where anybody's going to benefit from that. Now, Ground Advantage is different than first class because it goes all the way up to 70 pounds. It's essentially your first class, which is your lower, and your parcel, which was like your slower for bigger items, and they combined it together. Ground Advantage, they say, is 2 to 5 business days for shipping. It's, you know, the biggest thing was that it took all over your first class. So that's the good news. And I think that's exciting, depending on what that actually means. I don't know. Is it only going to be for packages 5 pounds and above? Then it's really not going to affect me. But let's stay positive. Ground Advantage is going to be going down. Priority mail flat rates. So they got rid of the regional boxes. You're talking about small flat rate, large flat rate boxes, right? Boxes that are a specific flat rate size and price. It says are going to increase up to 6%. I know that large flat rate box is like $15, so 6% is a lot on that. If you're talking about like small or medium flat rate boxes, 6%, just add it on there, right? Let's just keep on with the pain. I mean, like we said, what are we going to do? And what's another 6% on top of whatever it was in last January and the 2 times in 2022? And, you know, it just keeps adding on. It also says weight-based priority mail, so that's not flat rate, is increasing up to 10% in zones 1 to 4 only. So those are your closer zones. That does not include, for most of you, like California, except for if you're in California. You know, I'm in the Midwest here. That's not going to include California. It's probably not going to include, you know, top of Maine or southern Florida. So it does say up to 10% increase on your weight-based. And then it also talks about, you know, your cubic weight. You know, those are for bigger packages. For a lot of us, that it's not going to, you know, affect that. And also then the stamp. So I'm also old enough to still remember when the stamp, I think, was like 38 cents. But it will be going up to 68 cents for your stamp. I mean, whew, I don't know. Kind of seems like a lot just to put a letter in the mail. However, let's talk about supply and demand. We're business people, we're resellers. A lot of places where you normally would mail things, you don't mail it as much anymore, right? I actually have a friend who delivers mail, and she said after COVID, the amount of mail completely changed, right? So you were trying not to interact with other people, you're trying not to touch things that everybody else is touching. And a lot of places went to online, right? So if you have a paper to fill out, here, I'll send you a link. If you have a bill, here's the link, you know, pay for it there, right? And almost every one of the bills I have, they're encouraging you to go paperless, right? They don't want to send anything through the mail. So USPS is seeing a decrease in their normal paper type of, you know, what's passing through there. So they're not getting as much money because people aren't sending their bills in the mail as much anymore. You get what I mean? People aren't even advertising as much. The newspaper isn't as big as it was way back when, right? Let's be honest, like the way of paper advertising probably also is going away. A lot of our advertising is right here on YouTube, is on your Facebook. You know, it's online. It's not paper anymore, and you're not sending it. You know, it used to be a huge thing to send postcards. I remember getting a lot of postcards, local landscaping companies, that kind of thing. So the volume is going down. So I think USPS, which basically always loses money, they're not a profitable business, is just trying to keep up raising those prices in order to try to cover the lesser amount of parcels being shipped. Does that make sense? I don't know. Hopefully. Sometimes I get on these things. I had no plan. You're like, yeah, Kimmy, you never have a plan. No, I mean, I don't have anything written down. I researched, I looked through all this stuff, and here I am. So what do you need to know? The stamp is going to go up if you still send out letters. I still like sending out Christmas cards. I know. Anybody else? Everyone just posted on Facebook. I'm still lame. I still like sending out Christmas cards. So if you're one of those people, it's now going to cost you 68 cents per Aunt Edna down in wherever she is to send her a Christmas card that she can open up and probably throw in a box somewhere. 68 cents, right? So if you had 50 people you're sending Christmas cards to. Anyways, the stamp is going up. I'm going to be the worst senior because I'm going to be like, boo-doo. The stamp is going up. Priority mail is going up, both flat rate and by weighted cost, right? How much it weighs. And then the potential for ground advantage is for it to go down, but we don't have the specifics of how it's going down. Now, another thing I will mention about ground advantage, y'all, is it now goes up to 70 pounds, which I mentioned earlier. So if you are doing something in the 2-pound range, it might be more cost effective to go with ground advantage as opposed to priority mail. Now, ground advantage is supposed to be maybe 1 or 2 business days slower, but it might be more cost effective. So definitely keep that in mind. I do have an eBay forum up, which I thought I'd just read a few passages from because it was kind of interesting. If you're a reseller on eBay, then you know that we have this, the eBay community where they post questions. Sometimes eBay people will actually answer. And then, other people who sell on eBay can kind of come in and have this conversation of how they feel about things that are happening or problems that they're happening. So this says, here we go again, USPS rate hike. And I'm not trying to make fun of anyone. I get it. Like, you're like, oh, here we go again. These post office constant rate hikes are getting out of control. Yeah, they're getting out of control. It is bad enough that sales are down. This is someone on an eBay forum talking about this. But every rate hike makes it even harder to sell anything. I mean, I can't really disagree. I completely understand. This is what someone on these forums is saying. They're obviously not very happy. This person says, well, here's a new marketing tactic. Dear buyers, purchase now to save before shipping rates go up. Because they go up. This says most of the rates are going to go up November 18th, which is just a holiday increase, which has become more normal. It wasn't always this way, y'all, so we can't say, that it's always happened. No, it hasn't. It hasn't, honestly. But it's become more common, and now it seems to be the norm, right? You have to be careful because some things that happen now become normal, but that doesn't mean they were always normal. Not for old folks like me who have been selling for 12 years. It wasn't always the normal to get 2 increases or 3 increases in shipping. It just wasn't. But I like that marketing ploy. Let your buyers know. Purchase now to save before all the shipping rates go up. This person, and I thought this was interesting, it seems like they are really pushing that ground advantage. I even got a call from my USPS business rep to let me know about it. Have you guys ever gotten phone calls from those USPS business reps? I have. Given all the improvements to ground advantage, especially a higher weight limit. Oh yeah, and it's protected by insurance, like priority mail, up to $100. I am having a hard time finding a use for priority mail anymore, but perhaps that is what they intend long term, which is also kind of interesting. So did they mesh together first class and parcel into this ground advantage, which goes all the way up to 70 pounds in order to get away with priority mail? And then if you needed a faster service, what would you use? Like Priority Mail Express, which is really expensive. So I don't know. Maybe there is some long-term strategic planning here by USPS. That's kind of what this person is saying. AC Green Rockstar. Yeah, if you have time and you felt like going into some of these, like I said, I was trying to get all this information, see what people are saying, when things go into effect, so that I could share it with you guys. And it was kind of interesting. So Google it, look it up on eBay community if you're out there, and see what other people's perspectives are. This person says, yeah, I don't even need priority mail anymore because I'm going to use Ground Advantage, so maybe that's something that they're going for. I don't know. This person, and this is kind of what I've already said, the thing is we don't know if the 16% decrease in Ground Advantage is straight across the board or an average of changes depending on the weight and zone. So that's something that I even talked about, is we're not sure where that 16% decrease is going to happen and what it will affect. If it doesn't affect 2 pounds or less, it probably won't affect me at all, and prices will just be the same anyways. But it's good to know. Just trying to keep you guys informed, not trying to be the bearer of bad news. More USPS price increases. Hey, if you have an eBay store, make sure you use your coupons. I get $50. I just placed another order for actually some envelopes. I've been purchasing some boxes, but this time I needed some more generic envelopes, so make sure you do that. Hey, it's Q4. We got to do what we can. I know the economy is just horrendous. I don't care what anybody says. People are struggling out there, and I do think in some ways it's affecting our sales. Hopefully something changes and we'll have better news sometime soon. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. There is your USPS shipping price increase information. I have done these before. You could go back and see ones that I've also talked about and give you all these same details. It happens about 2 times a year now. So, yeah. All right, guys, hustle hard. We'll talk to you soon.